What, now, when you took sixth at the Chicago, what did the judges tell you? Because you were great in Atlanta. What happened?
To be honest with you, I didn't get my judges' feedback this time around, and I think because the show was still going on, like it was 2 days. We competed on Friday. To be honest with you, I don't know what they were looking for. I mean, again, I don't tolerate any disrespect for any of the other women competitors that I compete against. They came, they saw, they did what they were supposed to do. I don't know what it was. Even if I look at the pictures, I am confused, but I can't really get too down with what he didn't see or what he was potentially looking for in Chicago. I don't know what it was, because Becky was the judge and head judge in Atlanta, which she was there judging with Steve. I've never been judged by Steve. Could be because he doesn't know who I am, and that's fine.
Steve Weinberger, that's the husband of Beth Francis, one of the greatest women in bodybuilding ever known.
Right. He doesn't know who he probably have never seen me, have never judged me. But I had been in front of Becky twice. So Becky was the head judge in St. Louis, and then Becky was the head judge in Atlanta. And I'm sure that she saw the difference of how my body transformed from St. Louis to Atlanta. And so when I got my feedback in Atlanta, she was like, just tighter glutes is all I got. I got great posing, great stage presence, look great, better glutes. And I've been like literally killing my glutes. And in all honesty, all I can do is just take that feedback and try my hardest to bring that in. So I don't really know what they were looking for, because it wasn't a whole lot of glutes on that stage in Chicago. And there's no Tino shade to anybody in that. So I don't know what they were looking for. And that's fine. I'm going to keep getting in front of Steve until he sees me. And that's all I can do at this point in time. So I really don't know what happened.
Yeah, the thing is that this is what I talk about a lot, what I'm seeing now. The judges have a lot of control when it comes down to what they want to look at. I've seen shows where some women, like, I look at this one show, I say, wait a minute, she looked great. But why she's third, why this chick here is like first? I've seen some shows like she looked great and she deserved that placing. I know some guys who follow my channel say like, oh, like this person gonna do this person that. But it's critique. The judges have a lot of control. Like, this is why I say like physique and women's bodybuilding, the lines are thinning. If you look at someone like good example, because one is the person, I'm gonna pull up a picture real quick, because I did an interview with a lady who competed, and I think you competed the same shit with her, and that was I think it was Oksana Perari, and I believe y'all were at St. Louis together. I think it was, and this is, and you look at Erin Sherbert. This was from Omaha. Mm-hmm. And even though you can see some differences between the two, where I think Emily, her quads is one thing. Her quads is the thing that's really kind of separate her, because she has big quads than most physique competitors. There's some few bodybuilders who don't have her quad development. And then if you look at, I did a thing where I had a comparison between Christina Mendoza and Andrea Shaw. And Christina was at Chicago with you, mm-hmm. and you look at Andrea. She's like, some people say that Christina might do well at the Olympia. I don't, she might possibly crack the top 5, but I don't know about, winning the show. But Andrea just has that great balance. Mm-hmm. But, the judges, they keep, changing, the requirements. If you look at, you look at Natalia Cuejo, who did both New York and she did, Pittsburgh, and how she just big shoulders. I had a friend who lives in Florida. They were at the same event together. She said how big she got. It's just that if you look at the women, like if you look at how Ashley was in physique, but she switched over to figure. Mm-hmm. And it's just the criteria are just
it's all blurring, because the heart. From what I am looking at outside, looking at it, and by any means, I'm not a judge, and I'm not, the judges judge. That's their job. So whatever they choose is what they choose. I'm not going to be bitter, mad, or anything. All I can do is come better, and that's how I look at it. But was it Emily, for instance? From my understanding, the criteria of her body would be considered women's bodybuilder, not women's physique. So if that is the case, why reward somebody in women's physique for a physique that should be in women's bodybuilding? And then what is going to happen is the people who are not as developed as Emily, or is it Emily, right? Emily, who took first at Omaha, because I went to her page. I was like, oh my gosh, like insane physique. But then you're going to have women who don't have that type of muscle development doing everything up under the sun to get to that size. Then they're too big, or they've blown themselves out and can't be competitive because they don't have the symmetry. Even though the standard is, if for me in women's bodybuilding, if the standard stayed Andrea Shaw, I could see myself doing it. I could see myself growing my quads a little bit more and getting bigger to be competitive. But then if you have the second place winner of the Olympia, phenomenal physique, phenomenal presence on stage, shredded to bones. So it's kind of like, what is the aesthetic that we're going for? Because if you look at the criteria for women's physique, it doesn't call for shredded glutes. It doesn't. So it's kind of like where you show up, who the judge is and what they prefer, over. It's not all cohesive sometimes. So that's why I say you can't really get in your feelings about these shows. You can be upset, you can be disappointed, but you can't get in your feelings and completely change your whole aesthetic because one judge didn't see the potential in you or another judge did see the potential in you. All you can do is keep getting that 1%, 2%, or however many percentage is better for a physique that you feel comfortable in and comfortable being in. Because I didn't really think I was that tall until I'm 5'5". I'm not really that tall. But if I'm standing next to somebody that's 5'3" and they're on a smaller size, like let's just say everybody on stage doesn't have as much dense muscle as I have and they're on the smaller side and they're shorter, they're going to grade on a curve. Like I just kind of got lucky where I had a little bit more dense muscle and conditioning was equal to where I could pull off a second place in Atlanta is what I think, my own perception. Mm-hmm. So it's just, you're being judged and it's all pretty much a perception of what they want. So it's not like, here is the standard they are going to go by all of that to every single T. So you just have to do what you feel comfortable doing, put the work in and get better. That's it.
It's like Sylvester Stallone in the movie Judge Dredd, prepare to be judged. Here, this is for a man, Ballsy, he says, she's cute with braces. Yeah, you got Ballsy. He says,
I'm getting my braces off on the first, so they're going to be gone very soon.
Also, he's asking, she's singles? He wasn't single,
I am single, but I am not looking to mingle.
No balls. She's not single, not looking for mingle. She's focused. She got a kid to take care of. She got this to take care of. And he says he look at your stuff. He says your physique is fire. And he says,
thank you.
He says, he says sexy ladies, and also he says, also he likes to know like this. What do you want out of bodybuilding? And that's the thing is, what do you want as a competitor?
As a competitor, I want to win. No, I mean, my goal right now is the Olympia. Like, I don't get too far ahead of myself. I set realistic goals because I know that I can hit those goals. Like, that's important to me. I am a goal setter. I'm going to keep achieving, but ultimately, I don't know if I want anything out of bodybuilding as much as bodybuilding has taught me so much about consistency and when I really focus in on something, what I can achieve. And I already know that about myself, but I love the consistency and the hard work it takes. Like, I don't shy away from hard work. It actually, and I know it sounds so super cliche, but I actually really like it. Like, I like knowing that if everything else is outside of my control in my life, like something going awry in my life, the one thing that I can control is my body and how I present it and what I put into it and what I look and how I look. I mean, I want to look like I'm in shape like this, at least until I'm like 65 would be nice. That's the goal for me. It's just to learn consistency. And I apply everything that I do in my bodybuilding, I apply in my professional life. I apply it to who I am as a mom because it all starts with consistency. In my relationships, it's consistency. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Because when you said about being a mom, when I was following bodybuilding, there weren't that many women like you who had children, who had, the numbers have grown in the last few years. I mean, there's ladies have their interviews who have kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, born kids, and for one thing, is, you know, if you take like one thing, certain supplements, it does affect your body. Like, you know, it develops how you develop and how you process a woman as a woman. And then a lot of women miss out on opportunity of childhood, but you had that before you started. This is from a man, KL. He says like this. He says, at one point, you should want to mingle, just don't mingle too hard.
Yeah, and, been there, done that. Got the T-shirt and a kid. I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's right, it's right, and when I'm ready, I will. But right now, I'm so hyper focused on like my bodybuilding career, my professional career. It's things that I want nest eggs for my daughter. I want to break generational curses for my daughter. I want my daughter to have property in her name. I don't want her to have to struggle through college the way I did just for a degree, which I have a degree, but it was a struggle. I want her to be able to go to college and not have to worry about anything but getting decent grades. I'm so focused on something totally different, and social media has made dating a shit show, for lack of better words.
Like I said, you know, my woman was my mother, and I remember a long time. I used to work at this job. I used to work in textile, but you remember I said before. And also, one of my other jobs, I used to work in a gentleman's club, or if you're from the hood, it's a booty club. And that's what it was, booty club. And you know, I had relations, but relationships. I wouldn't mind having somebody now that, you know, that it's just me. But you know what? It's a lot of work to be in a relationship, and you know, and being that your mother and you have kids, your responsibility, and you're a competitive bodybuilder. And that's a tough part about it, because instead, again, some people don't understand. Because to me personally, you ladies are beautiful. I mean, you just like this ladies who I follow. Like, you know, you were at Atlanta with Mila Ash. I sent a thing to Mila, and she said thank you. And Mila is just beautiful. She reminds me of one of my favorite bodybuilders back in the day, Vicky Gates. You know, I did interview with a lady who's friend of her, Tony Mercury. You know, and I think you were Ultimate with Tony. Tony's a beautiful lady too. She's a mom like yourself, and has a husband and four boys. That's and I gotta respect you, what you ladies do, what you go through, and people don't understand that you are athletes. You know, you're a competitive sport. It may be not as mainstream like it was back in the day. Well, you know, it used to be on, like I said, on television. You know, but now it's a sport that it's going through some hardship. Like this year is, I think, the worst year for women's bodybuilding. The numbers are very low. You know, even your numbers drop off a little bit, but still compared to women's bodybuilding, you know, you get a little bit, because you're supposed to be the replacement for women's bodybuilding. But this is the thing that people gotta remember. Everybody is a process. Like if you look at divisions now, like I would say the TNA divisions. We all know what TNA divisions are. That's wellness and bikini. You know, there's some ladies who started out as bikini at one point. Then they went up to figure. And then they went up to physique, and then eventually some go up to bodybuilding. I've seen some ladies who, like, you know, went sideways and done wellness, you know, and
a lot of people. I mean, here's the thing: a lot of it plays into your genetics, right? A lot of women can't. I luckily have a back. It's one of my best features. I can grow it. If I didn't train back or only did pull-ups every other day, my back would still be crazy. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? So a lot of people who can't get the size or the width on their back, they're like, okay, well, where do I fit in? So they're trying to figure it out. But a lot of people are really downsizing and going to wellness, or people going from bikini to wellness, or even figure is kind of dwindling a little bit more as you see it. And I mean, again, like I really truly, like I was on a stair stepper for my fasted cardio. I'm doing like an hour in the morning. When I get done with this, I still got to go do cardio. But just sitting there thinking, I was like, what if I did women's bodybuilding in Tampa just to see where I stacked up? Like, because I still have the option. I still could say, okay, well, I want to do women's bodybuilding, one pro show women's bodybuilding this year, to kind of see if I went to women's bodybuilding, what I would have to do. What would be the critiques? How would I have to grow? I mean, and that's the beauty in being a pro. You're not paying to do it. You're just signing a contract and showing up and putting your best foot forward to kind of see where you go. And when I was in Atlanta, my bags were in this little corner when I came. It was a beautiful Black woman. I was like, I know her. I know who she is, you know. And you've never probably met him, but it was Desanka.
Oh yeah, I talked to her on social media. I mean, she was physique last year, and Tony told me about her. She's the niece of the great late Jackie Joyner. Not Jackie Joyner. I mean, Florence Griffith Joyner. I mean,
yeah,
she told
FloJo.
me, yeah, I mean, I went, wow. Those
I could
genetics.
see that. I could see that she's beautiful. And I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. So like JJK, FloJo, all of that is what I grew up with in East St. Louis, right? But she was talking, we were talking and she was like, "Oh, you're still this beautiful." We're talking. And so she was like, when did you turn pro? Like, as we're talking through. And I was like, "Yeah, I got my pro card in women's bodybuilding." She was like, "You should come to women's bodybuilding." And like I said, it's a forefront, it's a thought, and it's a thought that maybe I might do another show. I don't know. Right now, my mind is like, I am done after Tampa, but I feel like if I get close, my heart is gonna be like, no, let's do this. Like, keep going until you can move that needle. So I don't know really after Tampa what the plan is. I might do Daytona, might not do Daytona. I might just pop up at some shows. Who knows? I thought about going to Arizona. I don't know. Ashley's trying to get me to go to Arizona. I was like, sis, I don't know.
There's always,
really far.
The Mid-Atlantic show. Also, there's, I don't know if you're old enough for it. There's the Gary Unit Master Show. That's a great way to test yourself, because I know some ladies who, I know Woody Sanchez, who I'm really cool with. She was a physique competitor. She did that show before, and I think she doubled it one year. She was doing women's physique and women's bodybuilding, I believe, for that show. And yeah, that could be an option, because
most of the master shows, I think now you have to be 40 plus to do them. Like the few pro shows I've seen that had masters, it was 40 plus. I'm not 40
yet. You're not 40 yet. I would think you're 25.
I mean, I'm itching 40. I'll be 38 this year, so I'm getting close. But
next year I'll be 50. I'll be an old man. So, yeah, and this young
girl isn't old just yet. I never understood when I felt like I was old, and people like, "Oh, you're just a baby." I'm like, I'm not a fucking baby. But
no.
When you think about it, it's not that old, really.
I'd be like my favorite hero, Doc Holliday from Tombstone. I'm in my prime, sir. This is my man, Raheem Hamilton says, wow, great show. Thank you, Raheem. And my man, Kia says, he ain't mad at you, Marika. Also, this is my man, Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence Perkins. Good morning, Marika, George, and everyone on the chat. Happy Saturday. Thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate that. Lawrence. Also, this is a man from KL says, who wants to date a bodybuilder? It's like they just want to accept compliments and nothing more. Well, yeah, they like compliments, but it's all about the woman itself. Like I said, I've worked many years with women. I worked, 13 years in textile with women, 5-6 years working in a club with women. I have, my mother had 3 older sisters. And with women, it's all about the mindset of that woman. Not everybody, like, yes, I deal with some ladies who, like, they want to kiss their butt, but at the same time, I did women who were just real.
Right. I'm not one of those women. You could not talk to me and it wouldn't bother me. Like, I don't care about the compliments. And I know that sounds weird, but I don't. Like, I appreciate the people who follow my journey and who have supported me over the years, and people that I've helped unknowingly, that I've helped get out of a slump. I get those types of messages a lot, and that matters more to me than anything. Even, again, with my professional life, being in leadership and seeing a lot of my direct reports have the life, get the roles that they want, succeed in our company, and those things matter more to me than a title or compliments, or even people knowing that I'm a bodybuilder or whatever the case may be. They know I do it. They might not know the nuances of it, but ultimately, I don't want to date nobody who can't add to my life. If we can't add to each other's life, if you're not coming in and you're helping improve it, if you're causing me more stress, it's unnecessary for me. And that's just what I look at it now. I'm not 25. I'm not a kid. I done been through some things. I've been in an 8-year relationship with somebody who really tried to break me down because I was a strong woman. And I have no intent of going back to those types of people. So if I choose to be single, that is my choice. And I'm not out here looking for compliments. I'm not looking for anything. I get my own money. I have my own job, my own car, my own house. I take care of myself. So, I mean, it is what it is for me. And when the right person comes along, then I'm gonna give that person the time of the day. Until then, I'm just going to do me and be the mom that I am and play and do what I want to do with my sport and go from there and focus on the things that matter to me right now in this moment, because I can't get this time back.
Yeah. This is a great interview. This is why I enjoy doing what I do, reach out to lovely ladies like you, and you are lovely. As the other guys say, you are beautiful. Marika, I'm a particular type of criminal, and you are a particular kind of lady, and you interest me. I'm king of anarchy and chaos. But you can complete me anytime. I'm sorry. I have multiple personalities. Right now, you're talking to all the way George Page, aka the Emperor, Feel About Me Talk. Then there's the pervy sage. Then I'm Lord of the Wall, Master. Because it's like I get information, and you ever watch the show Game of Thrones? They're kind of like my ravens. They can give me information. So I am the Lord of the Wall. Call me Jon Snow, the Bastard of Winterfell. And then also there's the hater. He comes out every now and then that's the other guy. I love the other guy. But sometimes you got a bad guy, bad guy. This is from my man, Ball Deep. It says, I wouldn't mind dating a bodybuilder. You got to understand, it's a lot of work, brother. It's like it's not just any other woman, but you guys treat them the same. And also, Balls Deep, if you have the opportunity, glasses up, my G. Yeah. And also, this is from how's her day going? Like I said, you say you're about to get ready and go and do your cardio. And what is your favorite exercise? What's your least favorite exercise as you compete?
My favorite exercise, it used to be deadlifts. I just like lifting, picking up weight and putting it down. I don't use gloves or anything just because I feel like it get in my way. So deadlifts was my favorite exercise. It's a close tie between deadlifts and pull-ups, but I mean, who knows? Least favorite exercise is Bulgarian split squats, and I do them a lot because I hate them so much.
I know I think a lot of bodybuilders, their least favorite exercise always, they hate leg day. Because I
don't hate leg day. Love leg day. I hate Bulgarian split squats.
Bulgarian. It's like, oh, yes, it's for the that's particular name. Like, and I think one thing is, everybody says it's about the process of and consistency to follow your diet, follow your coaches. Now, who's your coach again? You say he's working with?
My coach is Kevin Johnson, and he started working with me. I was with a coach. Wasn't a great coach. It was a terrible experience. And I reached out to him. We had followed each other on social media, and he had been like a supporter. And I was like, yo, help me. Like, this was right after Bahamas. So I don't know if you all know, but I ruptured my Achilles in 2020. So it's always been like one of my scariest thing that I've always never wanted. Cause I've seen, being a cheerleader, I've seen so many people rupture their Achilles. I've seen a compound fracture happen after landing tumbling. So like, I was like terrified, and I did it tumbling. I was playing around at the gym, and I had my friend videotaping me. And as soon as I went to do my round off, I heard it snap, and I just was like, okay, if I stop now, I'm gonna really hurt myself. So I just did the tuck, and I landed on one leg, and I was like, okay, yeah, I fucked up. Like something bad just happened. And so when it happened, I went and they told me it was partially torn, and you just have to stay off of it. And then it snapped again. And I ended up having to so it happened right at the height of the pandemic in that April. And then I didn't have surgery until August on it. So it was like getting up to over 200 pounds because I was immobile and really I couldn't even put my weight on it. Like it was an interesting experience. So like soon as they gave me the go ahead to train at the end of 2020 in November, I hit the ground running for a show in June, and it was the Puerto Rico show, but it was in the Bahamas. And that was the last time with that particular coach. And I was like, I got to do something else. And then that's when I moved over with Kevin Johnson, and we did North Americans, and I was like, I can keep going. And that's when I ended up doing women's bodybuilding and at nationals and got second. So he's been my coach. He's a great partner. He listens to me. He does not shove supplements down my throat. And I'm one of those people who I won't take stuff regardless. Like I have to read it and understand what it's doing to my body, because that's just I feel like if it's going in my body, I don't have to just listen and say, okay, I'll take it. Like I have to know why and what the reason and what it could possibly do. So it is, it's been a lot happening over the years, and coming back from an injury like that. And if you ever notice, you can see it in my calf. Like they ended up taking some of the muscle from my calf because they thought that they were going to have to put a cadaver tendon in, but because my muscle was so well preserved, the tendon rolled up in my calf and they were just able to pull it back down and attach it to my heel. So I cannot grow a calf on my right side. There's nothing that I can do. Yeah. It's never going to be the same.
Yeah, we look at here the video from the yeah, it's tough. And if people don't know what cadaver is, that means that is a piece of somebody who is dead. It is, yeah, it's so. Truthfully, we all know it takes humans to do, like they use tests in animals, but truthfully, it takes humans to test, because they won't do it because it's humane, but it takes humans to develop humans. You can't. What works on a monkey doesn't all go work on a real person. But but you went through hell and back, especially during 2020, because that's when the year I lost my mother. She got the virus, and it was just awful. I mean, my sister, she had got it twice. Both my sisters, one had got it twice, one got it later on. It's tough, and going through that with an injury, your child is there with you. I mean, I gotta give respect for that. I mean, it really gotta. It's from man Lawrence Perkins says, still beautiful always, ma'am. Also, he says, this is from Balls Deep. I would build you up, sweetie. All right. Also, this is from Lawrence Perkins. Keep on doing what you're doing, Marika.
Thank you.
This is from Jimmy Stuckey. He says, enjoyed the interview. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. And and also this is from Lawrence. Says, shout out to you, Marika, a mother, first kids, first love, over anything as a bodybuilder, keep your legacy alive. And that's true. And also, my man Balls D says, what you got to bodybuilding? You missed that, Balls D. So you missed it, you can watch the video later. You can watch it. But folks, we're not gonna hold it too long because she's a busy lady. She's prepping. She's got Tampa coming up this weekend. As you know, the women's bodybuilding part is gonna be on Friday the 3rd.
Friday. So women's physique and women's bodybuilding is Friday.
Yeah, because I think it's a Friday or Saturday, because I think